My last video ended with me explaining how the crowdfunding campaign for Kin Spirits hadn't gone as well as I'd hoped. So what happened next? Some people were kind enough to give me a little bit of money so we could get the film made, get on with it. And we made it over stages, had some money, go to a location, shoot all the scenes in that location, and then go to the next location maybe a few weeks later and shoot those scenes. So the filming was spread out over quite a bit of time as well. There were challenges all the time. Not so much in filming that you might find unexpected challenges, just the normal challenges you'd find with indie filmmaking, trying to, resource things at the last moment, whether that's people or props or locations or any of those things changing last moment. This is pretty normal for indie filmmaking, unfortunately, but it's just the way it is. So I guess the biggest thing for me personally during filming was that I wasn't as sharp as I would have liked to have been. Because I was doing things other than just being director, I was, the nights before shooting, I was thinking about practical things rather than how to get the most out of the scenes the next day. I was thinking about that as well, obviously, but on reflection, I would have wished to have a cleaner path the night before, if that makes sense. And again, I know with indie filmmaking this isn't always possible, but that's sort of a note to myself for the future. Where challenges really started to arise, and some of them came from filming, but we didn't realize until later, was in post-production. Probably some of the sort of hardware related problems were the main drive, maybe might have been the most expensive purchase of the film. It broke somehow, somewhere. I obviously had backup drives, but an implication of that is that the poor person doing sound design got a bag of backup drives rather than one drive. So, it's a bit of a nightmare for them. Laptop we got for use during the film for various things broke. Drives broke. Footage and sound went missing or was accidentally overwritten, or I don't know, just went. Those are things that pop into my mind immediately. But, again, not uncommon things for indie filmmaking, because you operate on such an edge and people are under pressure. Long days, often have to wear more than one hat. So I'm certainly not pointing blame anywhere or anything like that. And any blame comes to me for anything involved with a film. That's the way it works. You're the top of the tree, you carry the can. I'm just saying these things as examples of what happened. And during production, during post-production, people came and went, if they get a good job somewhere, then they got to go, Of course, I understand that. Just the nature of things in any industry. So we had some changing of personnel along the way and some key roles. Probably the biggest technical thing was we shot the film in something called, using something called Magic Lantern, which is software you put on your Canon camera that we shot on. And that produces files in a format which not too many people know about. That was a challenge because for a lot of the time, myself, as well as other people involved, had no idea what to do with these files, and not so much what to do with them, but how we get them to talk to DaVinci Resolve. So it's just something we had to sort out. There were serious health issues in the team, from people in the team as well as people from the team's partners that they had to support. I had some myself, but certainly nowhere near the level of seriousness of other people in the team. So, you know, in any project, in any aspect of life, you've got to take health first. So I was certainly never going to push anyone in situations where it wouldn't be right to push them or ask them to, you know, do things quicker when that would be inappropriate. There was a pandemic that affected things. What else have I got here? I think that's it off the top of my head. I just made some notes. I'm sure there's a million other things that happened which I've forgotten. And as I'm talking about it, that's my tummy growling. As I'm talking about other things in the future, I'm sure things will pop into my mind. So where we're at now is that the film is, when you see this, it may be finished and being submitted to festivals, or if it's not, it'll be so close that, you know, it's a breath away. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, I will insert something with an update as appropriate. So if the film is finished, I'll have a little insert which says something to that effect. And what we'll be doing from now is just pushing the film to as many festivals as we can, seeing how that works. And I've been looking at distribution all this time, and you have to be realistic about your film, I think, and I'm probably going to submit to, there's some online platforms like Film Hub and Indie Rights, and there are others, which you submit your film to them and they take care of trying to push it to all the streaming platforms. So that's probably the path to go down, and I may do it in parallel with submitting to festivals, because submitting to festivals, you know, it could be a year before you hear whether you've got in or not, because submitting early means it's cheaper, and festivals can cost a lot of money. And if you submit to a lot, you know, it adds up. So you want to submit early, but that means it's a long time before you find out if you've been accepted or not. So my thinking is that even if I submit to some festivals which are in the near future, they can effectively act as a marketing tool for hopefully the film gets on some streaming platforms, and vice versa. You know, if the film's on some streaming platforms and they do well in the film, I can say, hey, in a festival, I can say, hey, we did well in the festival. By the way, you can watch it here. I think that might be a good idea, as along with the fact that submitting to a festival means that submitting to a distributor, online distributor who does all this, like a Film Hub or someone, it takes time. It takes time for you to get accepted by Film Hub. You've got to go through a QA process, and then it takes time before other platforms may pick you up. So, you know, like Amazon and all the rest of them. So it may be many months, even after being accepted by, let's just say, Film Hub, it may be many months before you're on a platform. So rather than wait for the end of festivals, which may be in 1 to 2 year time frame, and then submitting for distribution, I was thinking that it might be wise to start doing the same things pretty much in parallel. Start doing some festivals first, and then as soon as that's rolling, submit to Film Hub, and so things are going in parallel, so we don't have to wait for years for the film to hopefully get on streaming platforms. So that's my approach. I've rambled on a bit there, I know that. Sorry about that. So I'll keep you updated about it in future videos, anything that comes up. But certainly on social media, I'll post, laurels as we get into festivals and things like that in the future as things happen. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.